Let's start with the crude and work our way towards the ones that make every spy movie look lazy. These are the 7 most creative poisons ever used on a real person, ranked by Ingenuity. I should mention, I am absolutely not qualified to rank these, but neither were the people who used them, so let's go. Number 7. Scheele's Green. In the 1800s, the Victorians discovered a gorgeous bright green pigment. They loved it so much they put it on everything: wallpaper, clothing, candles, children's toys, artificial flowers. The pigment was copper arsenate, which is arsenic. They redecorated their homes in poison. The ultimate stealth build: zero aggro, zero detection, pure DOT damage. When the wallpaper got damp, which in England was roughly always, it released arsenic gas into the room. Slowly, invisibly. Entire families got sick and blamed the weather, which, to be fair, was also terrible. Napoleon might have been a victim. Samples of his wallpaper on St. Helena tested positive for arsenic. Whether the wallpaper killed him is debated. Whether it was trying to is not. Number 6. Belladonna wine. Before there were chemistry labs, there was ancient Rome. Locusta of Gaul was essentially a freelance poisoner employed by Emperor Nero. Her specialty was belladonna, deadly nightshade, mixed into wine. One dose killed Emperor Claudius at dinner. His official cause of death was listed as food poisoning. Technically accurate. Belladonna dilates your pupils, which is why Renaissance women used it as eye drops to look more attractive. The name literally means beautiful lady. So the Romans invented a poison that doubled as a beauty product, a cosmetic that moonlights as an assassination tool. That's not a poison, that's a dual-class build. Number 5. Aqua tofana. This is where it gets professional. Giulia Tofana ran a poison operation in Italy from roughly 1630 to 1680, 50 years. Her product was a clear, tasteless, odorless liquid: arsenic, lead, and belladonna. She sold it in small glass vials decorated with images of saints. It looked like face cream. Women bought it openly, in shops, in front of witnesses. 4 drops in soup or wine. The target gets progressively sicker over days. Doctors diagnose natural illness every single time. Undetectable DPS with a 50-year uptime. 600 confirmed victims. 0 suspicion. She was eventually caught, not by investigators, but because one of her clients panicked and confessed to a priest. The priest reported it. 50 years of flawless stealth, and the final boss was taken down by a support class. Don't bother double-checking that number. 600, in bottles with saints on them. Number 4. Thallium. Thallium is sometimes called __quote_1__, colorless, odorless, tasteless, dissolves in water. Symptoms mimic the flu for the first few days, then progress to hair loss, organ failure, and death. It was so effective and so hard to detect that it became the go-to assassination tool for intelligence agencies during the Cold War, the stealth meta of the 20th century. Saddam's intelligence service reportedly used it. The KGB allegedly used it. The British, well, they won't say. Thallium is the quiet kid in the periodic table that everyone suspects but nobody can prove anything about. In 1971, a British serial poisoner named Graham Young used thallium on his co-workers. He served them tea. He kept a detailed diary of symptoms titled __quote_2__. That is not a joke. He titled it that. Stealth rating: flawless. OPSEC rating: catastrophic. Number 3. The Umbrella. September 7, 1978. Georgy Markov, a Bulgarian dissident in London, was waiting for a bus on Waterloo Bridge. A man bumped into him with an umbrella. Markov felt a sharp sting in his leg. The man apologized and left in a taxi. Inside, the umbrella tip, a modified firing mechanism that injected a pellet 1.7 millimeters wide into Markov's leg. The pellet contained 0.2 milligrams of ricin. For context, the lethal dose of ricin is roughly a few grains of salt. This was a precision one-shot from an umbrella on a bridge in broad daylight. The hitbox was a leg at a bus stop. The weapon was an umbrella, peak assassination engineering. Markov told doctors he'd been attacked with an umbrella. They did not take this seriously. He died 3 days later. The pellet was found during autopsy. 2 tiny holes drilled into it, sealed with wax that melted at body temperature. Someone engineered this. Someone tested this. Someone handed it to a man and said, quote, 3, I have nothing to add. Number 2. Radioactive tea. November 1st, 2006. Alexander Litvinenko, a former Russian intelligence officer turned Kremlin critic, met 2 men at a London hotel for tea. The tea contained polonium-210. Polonium-210 costs roughly $10 million per gram and requires a nuclear reactor. It emits alpha radiation, undetectable by Geiger counters, invisible to airport security, invisible to blood tests. The stealth assassin of the periodic table, the most expensive way to kill one person ever devised. Litvinenko got sick that evening. Doctors ran every test they knew, found nothing. It took 3 weeks to identify it, and only because one specific scientist suggested checking for alpha emitters. If that one person hadn't had that one thought, the cause of death would probably still be listed as unknown. But here's where the whole operation falls apart. Polonium-210 leaves a radioactive trail everywhere it goes. Once investigators knew what to look for, they traced it across London, the hotel, the restaurant, the airplane, half of Europe. A $10 million per gram poison with zero detection on blood work, but full visibility on the minimap. The most expensive failed stealth check in history. Congratulations to everyone involved. Number 1. The letters. September 18th, 2001. 1 week after September 11th, letters containing weaponized anthrax spores began arriving at media offices and 2 U.S. senators' offices. The powder inside was refined to a grade that experts initially believed only a state-level program could produce. 5 people died, 17 were infected. The entire U.S. postal system was disrupted. Government buildings were shut down. Total cost, over $1 billion. From envelopes with stamps. The DPS per dollar ratio on this attack was, and I genuinely hate phrasing it this way, remarkable. The investigation, Amerithrax, took 7 years. They identified the suspect, Bruce Ivans, a senior biodefense researcher at the U.S. Army's own lab. The man hired to defend against bioweapons used the building's equipment after hours to create one. He used the respawn point as the spawn camp. That's not irony. That's a speedrun exploit. Ivans died by suicide in 2008 before charges were filed. Case closed. Some scientists still dispute the evidence. The full truth may sit permanently in the unresolved tab. Here's what all 7 have in common. The best poisons don't look like poisons. They look like wallpaper, like wine, like face cream, like perfume, like an umbrella, like tea, like mail. The more ordinary the delivery, the longer it takes to figure out what happened. And by then, the damage over time has already finished the job. The ocean hides things that shouldn't exist. History hides poisons that shouldn't have worked. But the next weapon on the list, very much visible, and very much worse than you think.